I don't know if you are like me, but I feel like a digital immigrant. I did not grow up with technology, and now am being faced with the impulse to look at text messages while sitting in church and while on vacation, listening to podcasts with earphones on and ignoring my husband. Before I had an iPhone, I would have considered these types of behaviors pretty rude. Um, Technology has seduced me into believing that I can do two things at once and do them 100% effectively. In my search to find out if this was possible, I discovered there are three myths about multitasking. But before I share these with you, I'd like to do an experiment to see if you can do two tasks at once. I want you to say out loud, I cannot do two things at once very well, and try to read this. While reading this phrase, you probably noticed that you could do the task if you switched your attention very quickly you had to go from one to the other very quickly, but it took you longer to complete the task. It would have taken less time if the tasks had been done sequentially because you wouldn't have had to refocus your attention. This brings me to myth number one. Multitasking saves time. You are probably thinking about all the tasks you can do without thinking, like walking the dog while you're talking on your cell phone. It is possible to do two tasks at once as long as one is passive and the other one does not require a mental overload. As soon as one task requires more attention, like your dog getting away, then one of the tasks will require your full attention. You might be thinking of all those teens who watch TV, listen to music, and read at the same time. In reality, what they are doing is they are decreasing the amount of attention paid to each device. They are spreading their attention more thinly. Multitasking is conditioning our youth to be shallow thinkers because they are training themselves to have continuous partial attention. Myth number two, sorry. Multitasking makes you more productive. Multitasking reduces productivity by 40% because you have to backtrack each time you switch a task. The start, stop, jump around interruptions exchange work for busyness. We feel like we've been busy all day long, but when we look at our to-do list, it shows that we didn't get much done. There's a backlog of tasks. The backtracking increases the amount of time it takes to complete a task and increases the chances of getting distracted because each time you switch a task, you increase the risk of losing your train of thought, and therefore multitasking really should be referred to as task switching. Myth number three, you can perform two or more tasks simultaneously as effectively as one. This is not true. Computers can perform multiple tasks. Humans, however, multitasking really is an illusion. Neuroscientist Earl Miller said, "The brain is very good at deluding itself," unquote. We frequently overestimate our abilities to handle multiple tasks, and it can lead us to dangerous behaviors. We can switch our attention from task to task very rapidly, but we cannot rely on things to remain constant. Miscalculations can be made, which can cause multiple breakdowns. In conclusion, the brain cannot multitask and give 100%. Multitasking does not save time. It is not more productive, and our brains do not have the capability to simultaneously perform two different tasks and do both effectively. Those that have been digital natives, the ones that have been around for the last 15 years, who have always had technology, have a greater challenge of recognizing that all stimulating activities are not created equal. Perhaps it would be helpful to imagine ourselves entering a room of treasures and told whatever object we choose would be ours, with the understanding that all other objects would fall into the background. The rule of obtaining the treasure is you can only focus on one thing at a time. Being fully present is the greatest challenge that digital natives face. Giving our whole attention and our best selves to whatever we are doing at the moment is where the treasure, true treasure, lies. Being fully present makes it possible to write every observation that we see down, because we recognize that we noticed everything, that we can describe everything that happened during that moment. That is what being truly present means, and it brings a great amount of joy.